We begin with the man who was one of the last people to see Derek Williams alive before he died in the back of a squad car.
Now, this man is the victim who Williams tried to rob that night, but his story may surprise you. He says he's not the only victim.
Our Jeremy Ross is here with the exclusive.
The police report describes a masked man reaching into his pocket, implying he had a weapon. As a result, this is labeled an attempted armed robbery lasting only about 8 seconds. What happened after is leaving a lasting impression.
I was walking home from Summerfest.
July 6th of last year, a UWM student and his then girlfriend were approached from behind near the intersection of Holton and Center.
By a man in a mask asking for my wallet. I was kind of in shock at the time, just said, "What?"
Police reports say the man grabbed the pocket of Sam Took.
I was a victim in an attempted robbery, and I mean, when it happened, obviously I was scared.
Took says the man saw a squad car and ran off, disappearing into a neighboring yard. The case would reappear in headlines more than a year later. The suspect was 22-year-old Derek Williams, seen taking some of his final breaths inside a Milwaukee police squad car. His gasps for help ignored by officers believing he was faking. He later died from complications from sickle cell. The manner of death, once called natural causes, was recently changed to homicide by medical examiners.
Seeing the video, it was sickening, really, watching it. I mean, it's just sad, really.
Until the police video was released, Took never got a glimpse of what happened after Williams ran off. He says he appreciates the quick police response preventing the robbery.
At the end of the day, they could have possibly saved my life.
While Took is called a victim in the police report, he offers sympathy for the man accused of trying to rob him, labeled a suspect.
He was definitely a victim too. I think watching what I saw, it seems that he needed help and he didn't get it. So I think he would be a victim also.
In an exclusive interview, Milwaukee Police Chief Ed Flynn told Fox 6 his officers should have responded more quickly to Williams' health concerns. He added police procedures have already been changed following the reopening of this case. It was a chase through 4 counties involving a half-dozen law enforcement agencies. When the 2002 Chrysler minivan came to a stop, 5 were arrested, and Monday, 4 were charged in connection with the chase, including 18-year-old Darrell Thompson, who spoke exclusively to Fox 6.
I just wish things would happen a different way.
The criminal complaint says May 9th, an off-duty MPD officer called for help after seeing a minivan full of apparent burglars who were trying to force entry into homes. Police say they're looking into tools recovered from the van that could be linked to burglaries.
We wasn't doing nothing. We weren't trying to commit no burglaries or none of that. You see some black guys in a white neighborhood, you gonna call the police? That seems kind of racist to me. We was actually lost trying to look for directions so we can get out of there so I can go to school.
But what Thompson describes as a trip to class took a detour into detention. After seeing squad cars, the driver hit the gas, traveling through neighborhoods and freeway traffic, hitting speeds of up to 85 miles per hour.
I don't know how fast it was going to take the truth.
Why didn't you guys pull over?
Huh? I don't know. Tell you the truth.
Do you wish you had?
Do I wish I had? Let me see. That's the past. I mean, I can't dwell on the past.
Investigators say 17-year-old Devarian Beeman was at the wheel. Is Mr. Beeman around, or? No. Beeman is accused of stealing the vehicle from Milwaukee's ABC daycare back on May 8th. Court documents say he lives here. We're just trying to get his side of things, ma'am.
I'm not the driver.
We tried talking with the driver.
Yeah, the driver doesn't want to talk to you. I don't even know I'm talking to you right now.
Investigators say 19-year-old Jarmel Gatewood and 17-year-old Fred Gillespie were also in the van. A chase leading the law to one car and leading its occupants into the court system.
Thankfully, nobody got hurt.
Now, all the accusations that we described are coming from the Milwaukee County court system. This evening, we spoke with law enforcement. They tell us that they will be recommending charges to Racine County's district attorney, so it is possible that all those inside the van could face additional legal action.
He started sending me texts about what he would like to do to me.
They were messages between 2 adults. But it's who sent lewd messages.
I just felt sick to my stomach. I was just like...
Shocking. One woman.
I just couldn't believe that it was happening.
And forcing a Greenfield police officer to resign.
I had asked them, I was like, do you need my contact information? They said they already had it.
Joanne Fagan says August 21st, she was questioned during an investigation. She says one of the officers acted very professional one did not.
Later on that night, I got another text from an unknown number, and he said that this is Officer so-and-so, and this is my private number if you need anything.
In a news release, Greenfield police say the two began exchanging consensual text messages in the hours that would follow. Fagan does not describe the messages as mutual, claiming there were 2 inappropriate images sent and more than a dozen lewd messages.
He said he wanted to, have sex with me. He just kept going and kept going and kept going, and then eventually sent me pictures of his private. I felt gross and scared at the same time, pretty much.
Police say they were tipped off about the conduct and took immediate action. The officer with less than 6 years of experience was suspended 2 days later and resigned September 7th.
I think that the rest of the police officers in Greenfield, I think that they're fine. They're very professional in everything they do.
Now, because this incident does not involve criminal charges, we are not naming the former officer at this time. In the meantime, Greenfield's police chief says the vast majority of his officers adhere to the highest professional levels.
It's pretty busy in here.
The traffic outside,
Daily, hourly, for lunch.
can match the traffic inside of Milwaukee's doghouse.
Any fries, chips, or cheese curds, soda today?
Robert Woods is the man in charge of the tubular treats. And this business has at least one thing in common with the city of Milwaukee.
You just want cheddar on that?
Both are considering how to take in more cheddar.
Got to be creative and look at all scenarios.
Alderman Michael Murphy is hoping the city can sell public ad space to companies or nonprofits for some needed budget relief.
You won't see City Hall for sale, but what you will see maybe perhaps parking meters advertising on parking meters.
I use the parking meter quite often, so I know I would see the advertisement.
We're going to look at perhaps some of our parking structures.
That would be different. That would be different.
The effort could include messages on certain city vehicles to
Trash cans.
revenue linked to rubbish.
Wow. I don't know. That's a tough one.
We want to make sure whatever we do doesn't sell our soul out.
In some senses, yeah, I can see it being a distraction.
We're not going to do something that really offends people's taste.
Maybe some signs wouldn't be appropriate in some places.
Murphy says if the concept goes forward, the city will be mindful of messages, adding the negative of more consumer ad clutter is outweighed by the potential cash flowing into the city's budget.
New York has generated over $33 million.
That's a lot of revenue.
I'm not saying that we will come up to that level, perhaps maybe raising a couple $100,000 the first year or two.
You're all set. Thank you.
Hopefully over time, it may be several $1 million.
You have a great day.
The council is expected to consider these concepts next week. That is when the city could lay the groundwork to review advertising proposals. Before the sun rises on the city of Milwaukee, before some wake up and a community space picks up.
Police department.
Milwaukee County Sheriff's deputies visit home
It's the police department.
after home, looking for what the court system may have forgotten.
You're one of the people that is required to submit DNA.
Convicted felons give saliva swabs after sentencing, but sometimes court communication breakdowns prevent that.
And nobody's going anywhere. Nobody did anything wrong.
That's where detectives William Cieslik and Kevin Callahan try to collect what's missing.
That's all we're here for. Just need to get 2 swabs for DNA. Okay, thank you.
Okay, good morning, everyone. We're going to get started here.
Through weeks of planning, law enforcement takes part in a coordinated sweep. They're focusing on hundreds of cases over the last several years, but that's only a portion of the number of missing saliva samples in the county.
That number rose to approximately 2,000 offenders on the list.
Overwhelming, but it's something that over time you just chip away at it.
It was a process convicted serial killer Walter Ellis took advantage of. Investigators say he should have submitted DNA back in 2001. Instead, a fellow inmate gave a sample for him.
We're getting a face-to-face ID, positive confirmation, and that helps a long way in the process too.
But that process can be slowed as one man refuses the voluntary swab. That forces deputies to send in a summons ordering him into court. Time spent searching for samples that could mean long-term criminal case breakthroughs.
Now you have new DNA put into the pool, and they're able to solve cases that haven't been touched in years.
Sheriff's deputies say for those who don't want to give a DNA sample, they can contest this process in court, but they'll have to prove that they're not the person convicted of the original crime. In a typical Greendale neighborhood, you'll find a bit more traffic. Rolling through one suburban street, and a bit more traffic. running through one not so typical home.
Hello, my name is Gene.
Phone.
You're going to vote tomorrow?
After phone.
My name is Bobby.
And if you haven't already voted, please vote tomorrow.
Hidden in the burbs, a sign resting in the grassroots of nearby politics labels it a phone bank.
I did expect an office setting. I like this.
A cozy 4-bedroom.
This is the kitchen.
2.5 bath.
This would be the living room, and for the folks that like to sit on nice comfy chairs.
Housing dozens of political volunteers.
Thank you very much.
Of course, this is the dining room where we have folks who like to sit in chairs, work on tables.
The creature comforts created by the hospitality of one man.
Hi, I'm Tom Spirit. I'm hosting the phone bank here at my house.
Spirit and the other volunteers worked out of an old convenience store during the June election. Turns out noise made it inconvenient.
And the poor folks on the phone couldn't hear anything because of all the commotion with the people coming in and out.
But the new location is proving more homey.
It's enjoyable.
And it'd just be a more relaxed atmosphere and more quiet.
Everybody's talking and it's really neat.
Not quite home, not quite office, not quite conventional.
So I guess, yeah, you'd call it a home office or a office in a home or whatever.
A temporary house for strangers, sharing a calling to politics, day and into the night.
Anything we can do is worth the effort.
Jeremy Ross, Fox 6 News.